Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gwendolyn. Happy birthday to you.
I go blow them out?
There's another balloon.
Get close.
Hey everyone, happy Mommy Monday. This is the first time in a really long time that I have filmed at night, and I don't know how the lighting is going to be. A lot of times I can't tell what it's going to look like even just looking in the viewfinder, because what it looks like on my computer is completely different than what I see right here. But I have we finagled some lights. I don't know. So hopefully it works good. I thought that I would give you an update and then also talk about Winnie's birthday. So last Mommy Monday I was talking about potty training and tantrums and just being at my wit's end. So much so that last week we had her 3-year appointment. Yes, I have a 3-year-old, and I brought up what was going on with the doctor. Half worried that there might be something going on, and I'm hesitant to say mentally, but really wondering what was going on. And I've struggled with anxiety and depression for many, many years, and I even wondered if that had something to do with it. I don't know. I brought it up because I was concerned and didn't know what to do. So he spent a lot of time with us. I really love her pediatrician. He is just really, really great with her and doesn't make us feel rushed at all. And we were with him for 45 minutes or an hour. And he said, just judging from the things that I've explained to him and what he's watched with her, he didn't think that that was the case, but it was definitely something that we needed to work on, because if that behavior started transferring into preschool or even when she went to kindergarten, that it wouldn't be okay, it wouldn't be acceptable. And I was like, I know, but I'm at a loss. He was very, very encouraging and just told me to persist with what I was doing, and we would follow up and see how it was going. And the last week has actually, it's only Sunday, so the last 5 days have actually been a lot better. I think the day of her appointment, we had another one of those crazy tantrums, and I told her that I was leaving her room until she stopped throwing a tantrum. And I sat outside of her room, and she was hitting the door, kicking the door, screaming and yelling. And I was just like, Lord, help me, please, oh God. Just in tears, because it's been so frustrating. It went on for over 20 minutes. And when she finally started to decline, which 20 minutes is a really long time, but with it lasting an hour at a time lately, I was kind of grateful that she sounded like she was winding down. I asked if she wanted me to come back in, and then she picked back up. So I stayed quiet again, and then she started to wind down. I said, do you want Mommy to come back in? She said yes. So I went back in, and she started to cry again. I said, look, if you start throwing another tantrum, I'm going to leave. Do you want me to leave? And she said no. And she said that she was sorry. And that was one of the things that the doctor asked that was a big key thing in it, whether or not it could be a sign of a behavior issue, was that he asked if she showed remorse. And I said yes. And he said a lot of times when kids, if they do have a problem, they don't even remember that they've thrown that tantrum. And so she I didn't even ask for the apology. She said she was sorry to me first. And so I reiterated to her, I said, do you know why Mommy left the room? And she said yes. And I said, I left the room because you're throwing a tantrum, right? And she said yes. And then I said, Mommy came back in because you stopped throwing a tantrum, right? And she said yes. And I said, okay. And I said, do you want to pray together? Do you want to pray for God to help us to be calm and peaceful, and to ask for forgiveness for acting out in that kind of anger? And so we prayed together, and we just asked God to be a part of our conversation. And she went to bed really peacefully. And the next day I was like, you know what? Before every meal we pray, and we pray together at night as well. And I'm like, you know what? Why aren't we starting our day off with Jesus? And so I asked her if she wanted to pray when we're on our way to preschool, and she said yes. And it was her whole mood lifted. It was really nice. And we've had a little bit of attitude, but I don't think that's abnormal for her age. But the raging tantrums have been less, and I really hope I'm not jinxing myself because it seems to be working. And I did get the book Shepherding a Child's Heart. I talked about this last week, and I'll read just what the back says if you're interested in what it's about. Shepherding a Child's Heart is about how to speak to the heart of your child. The things your child does and says flows from the heart. Luke 6:45 puts it this way: out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Written for parents with children of any age, this insightful book provides perspectives and procedures for shepherding your child's heart into the paths of life. So I haven't started reading it yet. I just got it, but I have it, and I'm looking, I don't want to say I'm looking forward to reading it, but I'm glad that I have it. As far as like the rest of her health from the doctor's appointment, she's healthy, and he's like, she's probably too smart for her own good. Like, you love to hear people say your kid is smart, but he's like, I'm sure right now you probably feel like you're at your wit's end, but she's very methodical in her thinking. And he's like, even the way that she's interacting with me and watching me, like she's calculating it all out. And I was like, oh yay, it's gonna be fun when she's a teenager, right? And then she's tall for her age, and I think she's getting that from my husband's family because my family isn't the tallest. And everything else is just good and healthy and fine. And oh, I can't believe I forgot to tell you this. Okay, so I did tell him that we've been potty training, but I noticed that her urine has been smelling stronger than normal. And so we did a test there, and he tested it twice and said that it looks like she has a UTI. And then they called me yesterday morning and confirmed that she has a UTI. And he started her on antibiotics that day. So he was like, wouldn't it be funny? Well, not funny for her. Wouldn't it be funny if her behavior was because of the UTI? And she hasn't been saying that it hurts or anything. Like, this is just something, like, I just noticed that the smell was stronger than normal. And so she's been on antibiotics. And so maybe that is it, but I don't know. Then it makes me feel like really sad that if her behavior was because she was in pain, then I feel really sad, but she wasn't saying that she was in pain or anything. So I guess like maybe watch that with your children if you notice that the aroma is different, to say something. So I'm glad that I brought it up and that he decided to go ahead and test her. And then this weekend we had Winnie's birthday party, and I was like spazzing out. I've just been a spaz lately, and her birthday was a couple weeks ago. We didn't have it on her actual birthday because we were still adjusting to being back from our trip. And then it kind of worked out that this Saturday that we had it was her original due date. She was due on September 7th, but she came a couple weeks early. And I just wanted to have people over, but then I end up putting all this pressure on myself. I remember when I was a kid, I never worried about what was going on at the party. Like, I was just playing with the kids and it was whatever. And now when I reflect back on it, I remember that we would just have family and friends over, and my grandparents would barbecue and the kids would run around playing, and that was fun. I don't know what it is about now feeling like a parent, like you have to have this like special super party. I actually think Pinterest is to blame, because if you go on Pinterest, people have all these crazy immaculate parties and they're spending so much money, and I'm like, they're little kids. It's crazy. You should have. Her first birthday party, I went a little off the deep end, but I was like, you know what, I want to make it easy this year. And even though I said that, it still ended up stressing me out, because like yesterday morning, everything just started going wrong. I forgot something from the store, and then I realized there was a few somethings I needed, so I sent my husband, but then he forgot an item, and then we had to go back, and then we came home and things were taking a lot longer. I make her birthday cake or cupcake, whatever. I make them homemade, and I want to carry on that tradition. Hopefully she'll let me, but I want that to be like a cool tradition that like mommy makes the birthday cake. And I had to start over because the first batch wasn't working. And then about 45 minutes before the party starts, Winnie gets stung by a wasp. I was in the kitchen, and there's a door to our porch like right off the kitchen, and she walked outside. My husband was getting ready to follow her because they were going to set up the slipping slide, and we just hear this scream, like awful scream. And I hear the panic in my husband's voice when he was like, oh my gosh. And he like runs out. I run out there and there's wasps swarming around her head. And so we pick her up and grab her and she's just like literally shaking. And I'm like, oh my word. And and she's never been stung before. I have no idea if she's allergic and what we're going to do. It ended up working out fine. But then we come to find out that there is a wasp nest on our porch. This bad boy right here. Isn't that big? Oh, it turned out really well. The kids had a blast. Like they loved the slip and slide. We're playing and running around and it was just nice. I did want to show you this gift that she got from my in-laws. I had never seen anything like this before and I think is the cutest thing. It's this little house and then it comes with 4 different keys and each lock goes to a different key. So they actually have to figure out, man, this is hard, even for my own dexterity. So they have to figure out the key and then they unlock the door and then there's a little person inside. Hello. And then you can put him back in there. And then it has a doorbell. So each one plays a different sound. So that one would annoy me if that were my real house. So I don't know, something about this was just so charming. It's made out of wood. I have fun with this thing. I think it is so cool and she has been loving it. I can't believe that I have a 3-year-old. I wanted to share a little milestone. She's just started to like pray on her own. We normally pray together, but the other night she prayed by herself because we dog sat for my in-laws, and so she said, thank you for grandma let Chewy come over. And it was just, I don't know, it's crazy to see her just sorting things out on her own and talking a ton and singing and make-believing. Like she's really make-believing, and that I marvel at that she's sitting there and she's taking her toys and she's having them have conversations, and it just blows me away. It's such a gift to see that. Today was her first day in Awana. I'm pretty excited about that. So anyways, I hope you guys are well. Let me know how your little kitties are doing if you have any little kitties, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.